Hello everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of a biome edition. This audio podcast is part of a Phantom Newscast. This audio podcast is as part of a Lobostics Vortex, and this audio podcast Synopsis, and this audio podcast Synopsis is part of a Storm Lobostics production. In this audio podcast series, or this synopsis, and wherein the series will look into we're looking to or delve into research poster presentations in around 2017 and up to 2022, and the research poster presentations wherein works were had been presented had been presented sort of presented within the remits around in around the Institute of Biomedical Sciences Congress in 2017, the British Blood and Transplantation, British Blood and Transfusion Society in 2017, BBTS in 2017, the American Society of Nephrology in 2021, and sort of a secondary sort of research poster presentation in the American Society of Nephrology in 2021, and the sort of poster presentation at the European Society of Pediatric Nephrology in the European Society of Pediatric Nephrology in 2021, and a poster presentation also at the Japanese Society of Nephrology in 2022. The 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 works in regards to in within the remits of the IBMS, the Institute of Biomedical Sciences Congress from 2017, looked at sort of works, collaborative works in around a hematology and nephrology, and sort of a laboratory medicine, a laboratory medicine aspect of laboratory aspect of an important sort of pediatric, sort of adolescent sort of disease or condition being a hemolytic uremic syndrome, HUS, and where this particular works looks at this research poster presentation looks at clinical medicine versus clinical anatomy. The works in around the research poster presentation in regards to the British Blood and Transfusion Society looked at works in regards to looked at works presented works on the need to consider renal health in aspects of transfusion care, and where this research poster presentation was put forward and presented within the remit, looking at this works in regards to around in regard to the remit around leadership and management, and looking at this works also from a sort of a research to inform sort of best practice, a sort of a sort of a sort of perspective, and then works at the to research poster presentation at the American Society of Nephrology in 2021, where works looked at sort of integrating healthcare education for chronic kidney disease, and looking at this worked as looking at this works from a sort of qualitative perspective, where the research poster presentation was presented in regards to identifying the important themes in around those suffering with chronic kidney disease, those who suffer with chronic kidney disease, and looking at the themes in line to those in regards to the pediatric renal population and the adult renal population, and where the poster presentation looks at some particular data in regards to several themes. Look at several themes, different themes, and where these works where the themes in the poster within the poster presentation look at and sort of delve into the varying examples varying examples of the sort of important evidence based works aligned to the different themes that are pertinent or important to those suffering with varying forms of chronic kidney disease. And then a second poster presentation within the remit of the American Society of Nephrology. Nephrology looks at looking at integrating healthcare education in context of best practices or best practices, and looking at this works from a looking at this poster presentation works as an overview in regard to the same sort of themes, the same sort of themes, as in the qualitative research perspective, with some wherein this works looks at some looks to this poster presentation looks at the same similar works wherein there's some additional data looking at how varying healthcare professionals and the patient population of those who go through chronic kidney disease or varying forms of chronic kidney disease, CKD, can and should identify bases, varying different bases for collaboration to ensure there is and are better ways to see joined up healthcare services and healthcare practices between healthcare sectors between healthcare sectors. And this particular poster presentation at the American Society of Nephrology, American Society of Nephrology in 2021 looks at this works from a sort of where the data is presented quantitatively, and then research works presented at the European Society of Pediatric the European Society of Pediatric Nephrology in 2021, and wherein works looks at looks at sort of a sort of a sort of a perspective on a sort of collaborative works looking at chronic kidney disease again, CKD again, and looking at aspects of sort of this works from a faith a sort of a faith perspective, and sort of looking at this works in regard to data around sort of aspects of health service and healthcare services, but aligned to sort of aspects of faith aspects of faith, and again, where this works was presented at the European Society of Pediatric Nephrology, ESPN, in 2021, and then finally in this Biome edition. This Biome edition is where works will be will look at sort of presented works in regards to sort of polypharmacy, looking at polypharmacy and the influence on renal insufficiency, and where this presented works was a retrospective systematic review, a retrospective systematic review on in regard to looking at data from data from sort of literature around two or three different aspects of practices different two or three different areas of practices, and sort of combining literature, and through the development of a systematic review, and where this research poster looks to highlight some characteristics of studies, the studies or investigations, and the sort of themes derived through the systematic review. So that draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast sort of synopses as part of a Biome edition. This audio podcast as part of a Phantom Newscast. This audio podcast as part of a Lobostics Vortex, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Lobostics production.